morning, everyone. Welcome back to ET Now. You're watching Market Cafe with me, Kanishka Sarkar. Over the next 1 hour, we'll get you top developments from India and around the world and also tell you about the stocks to keep on your radar. Well, first things first, let's take a look at the handover we are getting. With sharp declines on the Wall Street overnight, stocks fell sharply as a stark warning from Nvidia, Royal Global Tech, and concerns from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell also about the economic impact of tariffs is what raised alarms among Scottish investors. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost about 700 points. That's more than 1.5%. The S&P 500 dropped more than 2%, led by information technology sector. The nasdaq composite, which is the tech-heavy sector, pulled back 3%. In fact, it ended the day about 19% off its closing high, which is sliding closer to the bear market territory. Now, shares of Nvidia sank almost 7% after the chip giant said it will post a $5.5 billion quarterly charge related to exporting its H20 graphics processing units to China and other nations. Now, in fact, on the Wall Street, stocks slid to session lows during the afternoon trading after Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that Trump's tariffs could pose a challenge for the central bank. Now, Powell said during a question and answer session that levies could drive up inflation in the near term and are likely to move away further, further away from the US's goal. Now, since Trump administration first announced its reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd, the S&P 500 has slid roughly 7%. The Nasdaq is down more than 7%. The Dow, on the other hand, has lost about 6%. Moving on, oil prices also have risen more than $1 a barrel, Shreyansi.
Absolutely, that's the kind of handover that we're looking at, and it's been quite the roller coaster when it comes to oil prices, right? We've been seeing a little bit of a flip-flop coming in as far as oil prices are concerned. So a rise of more than $1 per barrel, like you pointed out, Kanishka, is what we're seeing. As far as Brent crude is concerned, you do have that about 2% rise coming in. In terms of percentage terms, now you have $65 a barrel. That's the kind of level that you're looking at for Brent as well. And US WTI crude also rose more than $1, settled around $62 per barrel. And this hike, in fact, comes as the US has issued new sanctions targeting Iran's oil exports, so including against a China-based teapot refinery, and that is as President Donald Trump seeks to ramp up pressure when it comes to Tehran and also drive Iranian oil exports down to zero. Now, this is something that he had done in his previous regime as well in Trump 1.0. That is something that you also had as a key theme coming in. As far as oil prices are concerned, it was a very important factor. And it's an important factor yet again when it comes to Trump 2.0. And the action, in fact, comes as the US government has relaunched those negotiations with Iran over its nuclear program this month. Meanwhile, you do have OPEC, that is also a key factor, also received updated plans, in fact, about Iraq, Kazakhstan and other countries to make further oil output cuts to compensate for pumping above agreed quotas. Now, that is something that was previously weighing on oil prices. Currently, you do have that helping oil prices at this point because they're trying to sort of balance it out when it comes to those production quotas that they had, that they decided to change. Now, you do have International Energy Agency as well that did slash its global oil demand forecast, and that is also something that is important. But on the other hand, you do have the yellow metal that also keeps shining brighter. And in tandem with oil prices, you do have gold also extending surge to cross $3,310 per ounce. In fact, it's very key to note that it did cross the $3,300 per ounce level yesterday itself with that record run that we saw coming in on the back of safe haven demand, given all of the tariff uncertainty that we have, Kanishka.
Absolutely. Now,